TimeBank believes in a banking future with more for every entrepreneur. Start paying less and getting more. With TimeBank, you've got this.
You're watching Small Business Evolution. I am your host, Nontobeko Gumede. Now, TUNL is an award-winning parcel shipping startup offering affordable and seamless parcel shipping from South Africa to the US, EU, UK, and Australia. Joining me in studio to unpack how SMEs can use e-commerce as a tool to solve exports for African manufacturers and merchants is the co-founder of TUNL, Matthew Davey. Matthew, thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations as well for the award. I think you were recognized as South Africa's logistics startup for the year for the 2023.
Hi, Nontobeko, and thank you so much to the show for having me on. And it's a great privilege to speak on behalf of our business and also our merchants. And what we've learned in trying to get more South African products into the world market. And yeah, the award was just a nice feather on the cap after a good year last year, and we are excited about what we're doing this year.
Now, TUNL kickstarted in 2022, and with such a short space of time, it cemented its place within the logistics industry to help e-commerce merchants save between 50% and 80% in international shipping costs. So how has the journey and process been so far for you and your partner?
It's been really exciting. We started actively trading with merchants in 2022, and during COVID was actually when things kicked off for my business partner Craig and myself, and we were both looking to do something with more scale and impact for the South African SME space. At the time, I was actually living and working in Europe for a South African company trying to grow their business in the European market, and logistics was really the biggest problem that I faced. The distance to market, the cost to move the products manufactured in South Africa into the European market. And the thesis that I had at that stage was, if this was a problem for a sort of 100+ person company in South Africa, what about all the companies starting out and trying to reach that scale? And that's been the case. So it's been a great journey so far. We're currently shipping for 800 South African, mostly e-commerce businesses. We do their global international fulfillment, run through our platform, and we feel we're only starting to sort of make a dent in the market. So it's very complimentary of you to say that we cemented our place, but it's only the beginning for us. And in many ways, what we're creating is a kind of a shipping club. We want to represent and create more access for more merchants, and the more merchants join this network, we're utilizing the technology that we're building together with the combined volume to really drive efficiency.
Matthew, how were you able to build and cultivate the necessary relationships and networks over the couple of years, or the few years rather, especially when looking at investors, African manufacturers and merchants themselves?
I think what we did to begin with, and it's still a service that we run, and it's a very important service in the market, is we have our own supply chain that takes parcels into the US in particular, because it's such a big trade lane for South African SMEs, especially e-commerce SMEs. So that's sort of held steady through our growth journey. We run that service independent of other sort of courier partners. And then, recognizing that merchants not only ship to the US, they have customers all around the world thanks to social media and being able to take cross-border payments. We've partnered with key international couriers, and because of the sort of volume that we bring into the network, we get great rates which we pass on in a very democratized way to our merchants. And independently, a small SME just doesn't have access to those rates, and we just think, our whole thesis is, can we create a positive flywheel? If they have good rates, they can sell more, and the whole ecosystem grows. And we just want to be a part of that acceleration. And good shipping rates are such a key component to a good checkout experience. As all of us know, in buying online domestically or buying online internationally, you like a product, you add it to your basket, you're about to check out, and only then you find out your various shipping options. And if the typical South African e-commerce business is only really able to offer one express shipping option, and if it's expensive, the likelihood of conversion is quite low. What we're offering to the market is more shipping options at really good rates and increasing their conversion at checkout. And it's a win-win for everyone. So if we're talking about partnerships, with our courier partners and with our merchants, really it's partaking in growing, the combined business of e-commerce in South Africa. So everyone wins. So it's a very fulfilling mission that we have.
Matthew, just touching on that acceleration, how has e-commerce impacted the logistics industry in South Africa? How has it really caused that boom and that shift in the market?
So our perspective, we're very focused on exports. So we want to help South African SMEs get, more of the... Firstly, see that the world is their potential market, not just the South African domestic market. And, some merchants, thanks to us, have been able to export for the very first time. And other merchants are able to export, start exporting more, targeting, other key international markets. And, I think that's the role that we play and will continue to focus on and play in terms of growing the South African e-commerce space. The sort of domestic e-commerce market, we feel at least, is healthy and growing and competitive, and this year will only get more exciting with the arrival of Amazon in the South African market. And we just identified the sort of export segment as an area that needed, more energy, better rates, better technology to help SMEs overcome all the sort of hurdles. It's not just price; it's also like understanding the rules around trade agreements, VAT and duties, the customer experience, integrations into the e-commerce sites. So we focus on that, on the back of the sort of healthy growth in the sort of domestic e-commerce space, which preceded us and is continuing to grow. So we just one part in a sort of growing market.
Now, what are some of the challenges that tech entrepreneurs often struggle with, especially when looking at this space?
So I think since 2018, 2019 and COVID times, there was a really positive boom in the sort of Africa-wide VC interest in tech startups on the continent. I think fintech as a segment and the likes of Time Bank and others have really pushed the envelope of tech and investment and success on the continent and in South Africa. And I think we sort of came into the space at a sort of positive moment and are continuing to build through that. The last year and a half has been trickier for tech funding and startup funding, but we've positioned ourselves well, and we think having a strong business model with a clear value proposition to merchants is a good place to be in. So yeah, I mean, it's not been without challenges, raising funding to develop this business and to grow to the point where we're at now. But we have great backing, and our mission is to, as we said, we're only scratching the surface now, is to keep doubling down and adding value to merchants through more features and better rates. And we're also looking to expand our services beyond South Africa as well.
Well, thank you very much, Matthew, just for giving us an insight to what TUNL is all about.
Great, thank you for having us on the show.
That was the co-founder and CEO of TUNL, Matthew Davey. Stay tuned for more on Business Day TV.
Time Bank believes in a banking future with more for every entrepreneur. Start paying less and getting more. With Time Bank, you've got this.